Hey guys, it's Teacher Dad. So today I'm going to be doing another teacher-related video. This is going to be a video about the Epson Smart Projector. We have the 575 WI Brightlink in here, and depending on what model yours is, you may have more or less features available as to what some of these things can do. But I'm going to just give you some demonstrations on how this can be used in the classroom and some ways that you can use this. So this projector, currently right now, I just have it connected to my Apple TV, and I use this in my classroom pretty much every day. I have an Apple MacBook Pro as well as an iPad, and what it allows me to do is to connect to that wirelessly and show my PowerPoint slides and other things. And I have another video where you can look at that about my Apple TV and iPad device. But for today, I'm going to be showing you some of what can be done. So these projectors come with an interactive pen. And so what this pen does is it will enable various content that you're going to be doing on the screen. So first of all, I'm going to just show you, as we start off here, there is a little side panel over here. And what this side panel does is it gives you the various options for what you're able to do. Now, this mode that we're in right now is showing either what you would have on your computer, or in this case, the Apple TV information, and then you can use this and write directly right on the screen. You have two different preset colors, so you can see it just writes right over top of whatever is on the board. When you do erasing, there's two options. You can use an individual eraser to erase parts, or you can erase the entire screen by just hitting that, and anything you have annotated there will go away. Up here at the top, I'll start here. This is that interactive mode. There is another mode that you can also connect your computer to a USB port, and you can do some functionality where you actually use the pen interactively as a mouse, and you can do some features there. If that will work for me today, I can show you some of that. Otherwise, I'll just be showing you the basic features. One thing you can do up here is another tab, and then what this does is it just turns it into a basic whiteboard. So instead of using your whiteboard and your dry erase markers, now you actually have an interactive digital whiteboard, and anything that you do here is digital rather than writing directly with the dry erase markers. So what you can do is there are two separate pens. I don't have a battery in this other pen here, but you can set them up so that one pen is set up as one color, one set up as another color, and you can do things back and forth between two different students, one writing in blue, one writing in red. So that can give you some variety of doing things there. You also have the option of going in here, and then you can change a variety of different colors as well as the size, and also work with optional other colors. All right, so then again, what you're able to do here is you can completely erase everything that's there all at once and then keep going. Now, what is also nice with this is something you can use for more than just one particular type of class. If you go into this setting here, there are some preset options. So what you can do is you can have a lined board where you can do black or white, but you have lines that the students can use to try to write directly on the line. Also, if you would be using this for kind of a math-related class, you also have some grids that you can work with. So you can do various plotting and so on, and do your graphing type information, lines and plots and so on. Also, there is an undo function, so it does work interactively along that line. So you can undo the last command and say you wanted to change that so that the line is actually showing as red. And you can also use, let's say you wanted to even make sure that that was exactly lined up, and you can use a ruler to to make sure you have a really straight line. Now, you'll see one of the nice things about this projector is that it is what's called a short throw projector. So the projector is only about right here away from the wall, so it doesn't have to be far away. And then what that does is, as you're writing, you'll see the shadow is actually under my hand. So instead of a traditional projector pointing at the screen, this one is pointing down, and so anything that you're doing is not your hand is not hindering the light shining on the screen. All right, so those are the basic functionality as far as what you can accomplish. As I said, you can have it set up between two different pens, and then you can use it as a traditional whiteboard. Now, if we go back over to the other setting, let me get my computer projecting up here. All right, so now here you can see this is something that I have, a PowerPoint slide that I already have here. And let's say that you wanted to add something here that is not already on your slide, or you wanted to highlight specific points. There is a highlighter function, so you can highlight something to make it more prominent if you wanted something to be especially noted. And then you could add some diagram, but you don't want it necessarily to stay on your slide, on your projector, or on your PowerPoint permanently. It's just something that you want to kind of illustrate to what is going on at that particular time. You can do that. If this is in your way while you're writing, you can hide this back here. You can also move it to another location on the screen. So when you're finished highlighting and then you want to go back to your PowerPoint, or you move on from there, now you have a regular back to your PowerPoint again. So you can see how this would be functional for doing various things in your PowerPoint. It shows you the ability to draw or add things right directly onto the screen itself. So that's the basic overall function of how this works. And there is a more advanced feature, which I'll show you in another section here. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate some of the more, maybe I'd say advanced features, or at least the more interactive feature that happens between the interactive projector and your computer. Now, you do have to have the USB connected. You have to download the appropriate software. In my case, I had to go through and add a bunch of permissions and so on, so that it would enable the communication to take place. So now what you can see is that I'm using the interactive pen that came with the projector, but what it does is it actually functions in several capacities here. So you can turn this into a whiteboard that is now working in conjunction with your computer. So now, instead of the software that's built into the projector, where you're just working with that in an interactive aspect, now you have the ability to actually do things on this whiteboard. Now you'll notice, I don't know if this is just specific to my computer and my setup, or my pen, or my projector, or the orientation of how this is all done. I don't use this very often, and so you can see that depending on where I'm at on the screen. So if I'm here, it gives me a pretty accurate place of where I'm at. However, if I go off here to the screen, you can see that my projector is off by almost 2 inches over here on this side. If I go to the other side, you can see it's off by the other way. So I just haven't messed with it a whole lot because I don't use this. I use my iPad more than I use this feature. And so I haven't looked into, I've done the self-calibration and I've gone through all that, and I can't seem to get it working. So for myself, I just don't use this functionality for mine. The pen seems to be much more accurately pointed when I'm using the other mode. And so, as I said, I just haven't used this. But what this does is it actually allows you to do drawings and text and so on, and then it gives you the ability to actually save what you have recorded to a file on your computer, and then you can open it back up. So instead of having to write everything all out again, you can save something to your computer. So here's an interesting feature if you have something that's already all done. This spotlight feature allows you basically to darken aspects of the board, and then you can drag this around. You can grab this little gray bar here. You can resize so that you're moving it to different sections on the board that you already have things written, and it allows you to only show things that you want to be seen at a certain time. Go up here and close that. All right, so here we have just a shade. This is just a, this actually allows you to move this entire square. So again, this works in a similar manner. You can resize this shade to whatever size that you want, and then you can actually move this around and hide various parts of the screen. All right, so you can see that gives you a lot more functionality, a lot more options than just the interactive built-in part of the projector. Now, one other thing that you can do is while you're here, depending on where your computer is located, if you have a desktop computer even, you have the ability to annotate right over top of what you're actually doing. So here I'm using this pen, but it's actually interacting as the mouse pointer on the computer. So I can go over here to my mouse setting. I can open up my PowerPoint. And so now I'm able to interact with my computer using this interactive pen on the projector. So without ever touching my computer or leaving my screen here. All right, so now once it's in this interactive mode, now you can use your pen to either just click, touch the screen to go to your next slides. If you need to go back to a previous slide, you can use the arrows here, or there is actually another pen that has a button that you can use to do a different feature on the device. But then you do also have the ability to choose the interactive pen here. You can choose the color. All right, so that shows you some of the other options of what you can do with the interactive feature. There is even more there than just what I showed you, but that allows you to see some of the various functionality. Depending on your type of computer, the software, the projector, the pen, and whatever, you may have differing degrees or amounts of success or problems. As you saw, sometimes there's some little glitchy things that are happening there. But this is the basic overall functionality. As I said, you can use it in its very simple basic form. You can use it simply by projecting the screen onto the projector and then doing annotation over top. Or you can use this interactive type feature and use it to actually control your computer and perform various functions. Now again, depending on how oriented or properly oriented your projector is, will determine how good it is for selecting various things. And sometimes if it's not perfectly lined up, you'll have some discrepancy of where your pen is compared to where the mouse is pointing and so on. So again, that's the more advanced portion of how this interactive projector works. But if you have any other questions or comments and you want to leave those down below, feel free to do so. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.